President Trump dismissed House Democrats' push to give $25 billion to the Postal Service ahead of their vote Saturday, arguing it was just another attempt to invoke universal mail-in ballots. Despite the president's comments, the White House has actually offered to give more money to the Postal Service, even saying earlier this week they could be open to the Democrats' $25 billion request. Democrats say that number was given by the USPS Board of Governors earlier this year. Earlier on Saturday, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows suggested including post office funds in a smaller relief package that would also pay for small business loans and unemployment benefits. President Trump tweeted, "They are trying to pull off in violation of everything that our country stands for. Vote no to the Pelosi-Schumer money-wasting hoax which is taking place now. Then fight the $51 million unasked for ballots. Only absentee ballots are acceptable." Democrats have pushed for mail-in ballots in the larger relief talks, with their proposal allocating billions and requiring states to give voters that option this November. Republicans argue the system is vulnerable to voter fraud because of outdated voter registration lists and ballot harvesting. President Trump said on Fox News this week, "They may send them to all Democrat areas, not to the Republican areas as an example. Could be the other way too, but I doubt it." Meanwhile, Democrats say the president's attacks on mail-in voting is just a scare tactic. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said Saturday, arguing voter fraud was much rarer than Republicans say. "This president is worried that if everybody votes he's going to lose. I agree with him on that premise." House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Saturday President Trump's playbook relies on voter suppression. Mrs. Pelosi, California Democrat, told reporters, "Don't pay any attention to what the president is saying, because it is all designed to suppress the vote. He's going to have law enforcement, that's in their playbook." Also she added, "It's in their playbook that they'll have people intimidated to vote by having ICE agents, or other law enforcement there to instill fear in people as they show up. I know it's scary, but ignore that." Her comments come after President Trump told Fox News Channel's Sean Hannity that he was thinking of using law enforcement as poll watchers to crack down on voter fraud this election. He said, "We're going to have sheriffs, and we're going to have law enforcement. And we're going to have hopefully U.S. attorneys, and we're going to have everybody and attorney generals." He also continued to rail against the Democrats' push for universal vote by mail, claiming that the ballots, particularly in Nevada, can be accepted without signatures. Mrs. Pelosi said that too was a scare tactic and claimed he intended to undercut the Postal Service to weaken vote-by-mail systems. She urged, "Ignore them, make a plan to vote. Vote early, so that we will have an outcome that is clear."